D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So with the wrapping up of Season 2 of Doom Patrol, I mean, what an interesting climax. They didn't have time to shoot the 10th episode because it was originally supposed to be 10 episodes for this season, but, you know, they did what they could. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Crazy Jane in this video if you didn't get it from the title. But before I get started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is about to do their annual bot cleanse and old account purge, and there probably will be a little bit of collateral damage. There always is a little bit. So I just would ask that you please like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So let's just get started on this. So Crazy Jane from Doom Patrol has 64 personalities, and each one of them has their own superpower. Now here's a rundown of all the personas that we've seen so far. So first we're going to start off with Crazy Jane, Jane's dominant personality, which has no powers other than being sane and reasonable compared to most of the other people who share her head. In the comics, she had no powers. Her name was inspired by the series of poems by Yeats. Next we have Sylvia. Sylvia, described by Mr. Nobody as having a spooky voice and a moody personality. Now in the comics, she was locked in a small room in the underground and created to hold Jane's feelings of claustrophobia. She recited poem fragments in the belief that she could use them to make a key to escape from the room, possibly named in honor of the poet Sylvia Plath. Hammerhead, one of Jane's more controversial personalities, tries to pick a fight with Robot Man upon first meeting him, and the police when she and Robot Man go out to Cloverton. It is unclear what her power is, though, given that she has able to punch Robot Man without breaking her hand in Donkey Patrol. It may be some sort of invulnerability and or super strength. Now, Jane grows a distinctive tattoo of a wrinkled skull on her chest when Hammerhead takes over her body. The Hangman's Daughter, a quiet woman who enjoys painting. Now, in the comics, she has the power to physically interact with her paintings. Her full name is The Hangman's Beautiful Daughter, which it takes from an album title by the incredible string band. Sun Daddy, a giant figure with a sun for a head, who has the power to throw fireballs. While not identified by name, this character, easily identified from the comics, briefly takes over when Elasti-Woman loses control of her body and her blob form rampages down the main street of Cloverton in the pilot. Baby Doll, an innocent childlike personality that believes everything is wonderful. Her powers are unknown, and she is a big fan of Cyborg and is scared of Robot Man. A telekinetic, rarely seen ability, childlike alter that believes everything is lovely. Scarlet Harlot. Now in the comics, a nymphomaniac with the power to create ectoplasmic projections and absorb psychosexual energy. While not identified by name and not manifesting any powers, this seems to correspond with Jane's personality, who says, "Please touch me," after another personality tells Robot Man not to touch her while she's having a seizure. Flit. Robot Man watches one video of Dr. Caulder interviewing Jane where she keeps teleporting around the room. This seems to be Flit, a persona of Jane's from the comics who has the power of teleportation and is capable of traveling to other dimensions. The Wall Crawler. One of the videos of Dr. Caulder's interviews with Jane show her sticking to the ceiling and refusing to come down and talk. This unnamed personality does not correspond to any personality Jane exhibit in the comics. Flaming Katie. Only described as Katie, in one of the interview tapes between Jane and Dr. Caulder, this personality is said to have first shown up when Jane wanted to try on some new clothes and Katie shoplifted against her wishes. In the comics, Katie is a pyrokinetic. On the show, Katie emerges as a woman made of living fire. She doesn't like being interrogated and is one of Jane's more antisocial personalities. Lucy Foog. In the comics, she is a woman with radioactive bones and see-through skin, who has the power to generate harmonic vibrations. In the show, she has an electrical power set and is able to shock Cyborg into unconsciousness. Silvertongue. Listed on the underground map next to Hammerhead, this persona is believed to be unique to the Doom Patrol television series. It seems likely that this is the persona who attacks Robot Man by speaking words which manifest into silver writing that becomes solid. The words can also be reshaped into objects like a sword or throwing stars. When Jane is in this persona, she has silver makeup decorating her lips and chin, and her hair is sorted into several small braids. Sex bomb. In the comics, this persona creates explosions whenever she becomes sexually excited. The Singleman, one of the many railway-themed personalities that inhabit the underground in the comics, presumably helping to maintain order. The name is believed to be a reference to a horror story by Charles Dickens, where a Singleman hears warning bells and sees a spectral figure before a disaster. His powers are unknown, but may be based around sensing danger or seeing ghosts. The Snow Queen. This personality from the comics is presumed to be named after the story by Hans Christian Andersen, which later inspired the movie Frozen. Presumably, the Snow Queen has the power to create and shape ice from thin air. Blood of the Lamb. Little is known about this personality, who is in the comics resembled Jane as if soaked in blood. Lisa Radley. In the comics, this completely normal personality was awakened after Jane was exposed to a loving, supportive environment. Jane's other personalities aren't sure how to react to her, and many distrust her as she encourages Jane to seek to heal her condition. Busy Lizzie Borden. Inspired by the infamous historical Lizzie Borden, this personality may be a fake personality Jane assumed that pretended to be Jane's new dominant personality. Unknown Gladiator. One of Jane's personalities in the comics that was depicted in a crowd scene but never named. This one is dressed as a gladiator and presumably has the fighting skills to match. Kit W. the Candlestick. In the comics, an old woman who carries a candlestick. Her powers are unknown. The Sin Eater. This personality is a misogynist who believes that she must suffer for her sins. In the comics, she typically takes charge when Jane is in tremendous pain or being tortured, apparently having some kind of enhanced fortitude that allows her to resist intense physical pain. Pretty Polly. The name of this personality is taken from an English folk song about a young woman murdered by an untrue lover, whose ghost later sought revenge beyond the name. Nothing is known about her. Jack Straw. This personality is a living scarecrow, like the character from The Wizard of Oz. Mary Andrew. In the comics, this personality dresses like a harlequin and is always carrying toys. Penny Farthing. In the comics, she is a shy woman who speaks with a stutter. Her name is taken from the Old English term for the bicycles from Victorian times, with a front wheel that is larger than the back wheel. Lady Purple. In the comics, Lady Purple has the power to see the future, but she rarely talks about what she sees. Despite this, the other personalities all seem to look to her as a leader. Her name is believed to be reference to the line in the song Christine, Jill in Irons, a large woman wrapped in chains. Powers unknown. Presumably a female version of Jack in Irons, who is a mythical giant in the legends of Yorkshire. Unknown Girl, Redhead. One of Jane's personalities in the comics that was depicted in the crowd scene but never named. This one is a young girl in a school uniform with red hair. Driver 8. The conductor on the subway that travels through the underground. Her hat has an infinity symbol on it. The name comes from the title of the song by R.E.M. K5. Now, in the comics, Jane's original personality from before, she was molested by her father at the age of 5. She is said to be asleep deep in the underground. Stigmata. This personality continually remembers Jane's assault in a church as a young woman and bleeds from the hands and feet as if crucified. Her powers are also unknown. Rain Brain. Speaking only in stream of consciousness poetry, this persona can become insubstantial, making Jane immune to physical attacks. Bubble. This persona is believed to be unique to the Doom Patrol television series. Her powers are unknown, but her name is visible on the underground map next to Rain Brain and Lucy Foog. Mama Pentecost, a master of cryptograms and enigmas, this personality emerged to help the Doom Patrol save the world in the comics. Driller Bill, visible on the underground map, this persona was never described beyond being named in the original comics. Miranda, Jean's former dominant personality who first manifested after K5 went dormant during Jane's childhood. She later destroyed herself after her assault in a church, leading to the creation of Jane's other personalities. Confined to the underground, her station is occupied by an indescribable horror which only Driver 8 can look at without being utterly destroyed. Black Honest, named after the archetypical Wicked Witch who loves the taste of human flesh, especially children, Black Honest manifests as a withered hag with blue skin, red eyes, and sharp claws. A violent man-hater because of what happened to Miranda, Black Honest manifested in the comics whenever Jane was physically threatened by a man. Jeanne, named in the comics but never identified, Robot Man saw her station when he once entered into the underground in the comics. The Shapeless Children. This personality continually repeats the phrase, "Daddy, don't do it." This could be a reference to Jane's father assaulting her, the incident which triggered her psychosis. The Weird Sisters, a 3-in-1 personality presumably based upon the 3 fates of classical mythology, or the archetypical 3 witches, and a pun on the word weird, meaning fate. Their powers are unknown. Baby Harlot, an integration of Baby Doll and Scarlet Harlot. Butterfly Baby, constantly suffers from pain on a Hellraiser-like level in the deepest part of the mind. Daddy, an introjection of Jane's father as a giant monster made of insects, excrement, and puzzle pieces. Daddy talks with Jane's voice. It was destroyed, resided in a mental representation of the well where Kay was sexually harassed by him. Dr. Harrison, a white streak of hair and blue eyes, able to telepathically suss out the childhood traumas of others, powers to influence anyone who hears her voice. Karen, a perky but unstable alter with the power to cast love spells, loves 90s rom-coms and her boyfriend Doug. No One. She is very aggressive, was able to sense the 5th horseman and the painting before it was activated. Pepper's Ghost. Spinning Jenny, prone to panic attacks. The Engineer. He assists Driver 8 in maintaining the underground. The Nun, a Catholic nun armed with a chainsaw. The Point Man. He assists Driver 8 in maintaining the underground. The Secretary, a neat and orderly pessimist who rarely shows emotion. Unknown Redhead, a girl with a beauty mark in a red dress. Unknown Boy, with short blonde hair. Unknown Person, unknown odd-shaped head. Unknown Woman, whose face is shadowed over. So those are only 57 of the 64 personalities that we've seen in the comic books and in the show, but there's still more to come, and hopefully we see more. I hope that you like this video. Tell me, which personality do you think is your favorite? For me, of course, it's just Jane. I like Jane a lot. But go ahead and tell me your favorite personality, which ones you like, which ones you don't like, what's your favorite part about them, who has the best power set. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. You know, I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next Doom Patrol video. You guys have a good day. Bye.